If you're suffering from chronic back pain, you know how weird it can be. It comes, it goes, it gets worse, it gets better, and the worst of all, it never goes away fully. You can never catch a break. And because the pain is so weird, I guess it's actually no surprise that the solutions can also be kind of weird. In this video, I want to take a step back and look at the bigger picture of the solutions for back pain. See why some of them, many of them actually, the most effective ones, are counterintuitive and unexpected, while the solutions that typically get recommended by doctors and Western medicine are often ineffective and don't do anything for you at all. I want to let you know about a concept, a distinction I call logic versus magic. We'll get to that in a minute and why it's important. Before we get into it, I talk a lot about that in my free, completely, absolutely, totally super free book on healing back pain. Get the back pain blueprint for $0.0. It's an absolutely free book where I talk about my experience with back pain for 12 years now, actually, what worked, what didn't work, and how to use it and how to craft your own strategy. Okay, logic versus magic. What does this even mean? We'll get to that right now. Before we start, just know that if you stick around until the end of this video, I'm gonna give you like a really nice special bonus for you. It's gonna be insanely powerful in helping you heal from back pain. Okay, logic. This for me means all of the solutions that are based in hardcore science. They're typically recommended by all the experts with all the diplomas on the wall, and they should be based on experience and experiments, even though they often tend to not work in practice as well as the theory suggests. There's a strong theoretical component to a lot of them, and while they can be effective, they're just completely useless for a lot of people. On the other hand, magic for me means all the solutions that you can't really see like a direct correlation between the suggested mechanism of improvement and fixing the problem and actually like the problem being resolved. There's often like honestly a lot of scam in this area, a lot of like con artists. You're gonna notice a lot of like the woo-woo, like hippy dippy zodiac kumbaya people gravitate towards this area. And truthfully, there's a lot of like ridiculous kooky sounding stuff in this area. But interestingly enough, some of these solutions actually work. And a lot of times when they work like gangbusters. It's like unbelievable how this can happen. Now, let me tell you something. I'm a computer science graduate. I've worked as a software engineer and a programmer pretty much my entire career. My parents tell me like when I was a kid, when people ask me like what do you want to be when you grow up, I used to answer something like I want to be a doctor of experiments, which was my way of saying I want to be like this super mega nerdy scientist type of guy. I'm generally like a very logical, reasonable person. I use this every day, especially when I'm writing code. I've always kind of been like that. My first back pain episode was more than 12 years ago at this point, and when I first went through the injury, one thing bothered me a lot. Like a lot of the things that doctors recommended and Western medicine recommended, they didn't really work. And a lot of the things that worked, they weren't exactly products of like the scientific revolution. On the contrary, a lot of the things that worked, they turned out to be more of like the magical woo-woo nature. And they came from the type of people that I kind of used to like despise, and I didn't want to have a lot to do with them, especially in my most rational like science wins every time days. A lot of my content is actually geared towards people who practically sit a lot all day. A lot of my content is geared towards people who spend a lot of their day sitting. You may be an office worker, you're probably working in some sort of an office. Maybe you're even like a programmer like me. That probably means you're mostly like a logical person. You're not too much of the magical woo-woo people. You likely live off of your brains, you solve problems all day. Chances are you're probably not that like spiritual or religious or superstitious. Maybe you don't even like, you probably don't like implausible or other like irrational explanations of things. And maybe when you're on a date with an attractive person and they ask you like, what's your horoscope sign? You kind of play along with it and maybe you even say like, oh, I'm a Libra, I'm a Scorpio. Because, well, it's been 6 months after the breakup, you're kind of lonely, you get it. But deep down, like it's never gonna really work out with this person because they believe in horoscope. That's your reality. You're a logical, rational, reasonable person, probably quite skeptical as well, if I'm being honest. You probably have a job that's well suited for those qualities, and which means you probably sit in your butt in a chair at least 4 hours a day. And people like you and me, we're actually in the greatest danger of developing back pain because of all of the sitting. Sadly, we're also the people who have the most trouble healing. If you're a rational, logical person, you may struggle with a lot of the same issues that I struggled with. Some of the things that will help you will not actually make a lot of sense, especially in the context of modern medicine and science. And ironically, they will help you after Western medicine fails you. I chose to reconcile those conflicting worldviews by remaining rational and skeptical and critical thinking, but also kind of becoming a little bit more open minded. I decided to think empirically, which I'm sure you know is based on experience. I value experience a lot more than pure theory. Instead of obsessing over the perfect theory, which I believe is a trait among a lot of amateur scientists and maybe even like pro scientists, a lot of like science enthusiasts, they love the theory. And these days, I kind of focus more on what simply works. And this is especially true if it's something simple and overlooked, which in a funny way, like I believe a lot of engineers will also appreciate. I don't know like if you agree with me on this, but I think simple solutions are always better than complicated or more like complex solutions. And if something works in practice, I just go with it. And then I try to see why it works, how it can be rationally explained. But the ultimate judgment of whether something is a good method is if it works for me, if it works on me. I don't care what anyone else says. Sometimes, if something works but it sounds really weird, I can't find a good rational explanation for it, I just don't even bother in a way. I don't get caught up trying to figure out, like, oh, how does it work? I want to know the secret, the mystery. Like, honestly, I don't care. My back doesn't hurt, so who cares? I mean, I am curious. I would love to know what's like the actual science, the actual mechanism of how this works. But oftentimes, I can't really find like a really good explanation. And I don't care. I really don't. I mean, I want to know, but at the same time, if I never find out, I'm just okay. I'm more pragmatical in this way. If it works, if it gets the job done, I'm fine with it. And I actually recommend to everyone to stay curious and seek to always apply rigorous scientific thinking and see how things work. But at the same time, like keep an open mind. I think that's even maybe more important for a lot of people. Just like, stay open to the idea that human beings, humanity, we still haven't like figured out all the answers. There's a lot of value in something that has helped a lot of people over prolonged periods of time, for example, even if it sounds kind of ridiculous. And I don't want to get a lot into like, folk medicine or like pseudoscience or even like charlatans or, healers of that nature. But if I have like a really bad problem and some of them heals me, like I'm not gonna protest a lot, if I'm being honest. And to be fair, like the things that worked for me that proved to be the most effective, honestly, like they're not even that ridiculous sounding. They're not exactly like complete nonsense when you think about it, or at least that's how I see it. There is some connection, but maybe it's not like maybe it's not so provable, I guess is the right term. Like you can't really devise a concrete, precise experiment to prove that this is going to work for everyone that tries it. And that's like the thing. This is not exactly a precise science in a lot of ways. Like I'm sure that some of the things that worked for me won't work for you, but maybe some of them will. And maybe things that didn't work for me, they're going to work for you. My point is, you may be reluctant to give an honest shot to things that sound weird. And I think you're going to be doing a huge disservice to yourself. I often recommend focusing on approaches that doctors would probably like dismiss as irrelevant. But if that provides you with amazing benefits, like, does that matter? Especially when they're safe and free? In any case, I don't even think I actually recommend or advocate approaches that have like downsides, that are risky, that are expensive. Pretty much everything I recommend is free, safe, they're minimal, often even no downsides at all. I don't see like a reason not to give them a shot. That's why I think an open mind would serve you greatly when trying out some of these approaches. And to be fair, like even the more magic stuff I recommend, it's probably closer to like maybe a possible psychological mechanism that's maybe not exactly worked out so well. We don't understand fully how it works. It's closer to that type of magic rather than like the quantum breathing guru method that summons the ghost of Thor because it pleases the goddess Freya or something like that type of magic. I'm not into that territory yet, and hopefully I never go there. But even if I do, like if it works, honestly, I wouldn't care. Maybe I'm not even gonna recommend trying everything under the sun, but if it has at least some plausible reason, some maybe if it at least makes somehow sense even on the surface, I would be very open-minded to trying any method. In my experience, the best way to do science is to try it on myself. You don't have to do that. You don't have to repeat my experiments. You can and definitely should learn from my experience. By the way, I talk a lot about this in my free book, completely free. The link to it should be in the pinned comment or the description. Go check it out. There's no reason for you not to check it out. I think I gave everything I had in that book. It's like a fully fledged book, 150, 60 something pages, only based on my real experience, what works, what doesn't work, how to craft a perfect strategy for your life and your context. No way I slop, no chat GPT garbage. This is just what I learned from 10 years of back pain and 2 years of being back pain free. And I'm actually quite a skeptical person. While I was researching a lot of these methods, my like scam alarms were often going up. And this is gonna sound like unbelievable, unreal to a lot of you, but I actually think that like skepticism kind of prolonged my healing journey. An open mind would have served me much better. That's what I recommend to you as well, especially since I expect a lot of you to actually be on the logic side, similar to what I was when I first started this journey. Of course, don't immediately fall for quacks and scoundrels and obvious like charlatans and scams promising you like instant solutions. That's not the way either. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is if you're a purely 100% logic type of person like I was, maybe experiment with being like 80% logic and allow like 20% for 20% magic like in your way of thinking. And by the way, like if you're 100% magic, like I think you could also benefit from a little logic in your life. Like try go 80-20 and add like a little bit more critical thinking. In any case, don't abandon reason entirely. That's not the way to go, but also keep an open mind. That's how you heal back pain quickly and effectively. My name is Mate from Real Deal Heal. Thanks for sticking around and watching like this sort of an experimental video, let's just say. Because you stuck around, I want to give you like my gratitude. I actually have a gift for you. As some of you may know, I have a complete course on back pain, on how to heal back pain properly. We're talking hours and hours of techniques, exercises, methods, plans, strategies, like how to completely get rid of your back pain in a proven way, in something that's proven to work. And this is not exactly a cheap course, but since you're still here and because you're a real trooper, I want to give you a discount on the course of 100%. I want to give the course away for free. The first 5 people who go to the checkout page of the course, realdealheal.com, you're going to find the course link or button easily on the homepage. Go to the shop, add the course to the cart, and apply the discount code MAGIC, all lowercase. You're going to receive 100% discount, effectively getting the course for free. This also includes like full course updates and membership for the rest of your life, forever. So hopefully by the time you watch this, there are still free courses left. Again, realdealheal.com, go to the course, add it to the cart, apply the coupon code MAGIC, all lowercase letters, you're going to receive the course for free. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate that. Like this video if you found it valuable, subscribe to the channel, and also hit like the notification ding 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 type of thing so that you get free content on how to heal your back pain. Share this video with someone who's also struggling. You're probably going to do them you're going to do them a huge favor as well. Ask any comments and the questions. I'm welcome to like criticism on some of these ideas. I think that's the way forward. We gotta talk about these things. I think there's a lot of value that a lot of people are missing here, which is one of my favorite things, like asymmetrical arbitrage of finding value in overlooked approaches is my probably my favorite thing in the world. And this was more like a mindset based, like abstract video. If you want to continue with something more practical, more down to earth, I recommend checking out the video that's probably going to appear somewhere around here. I'll see you there, and until next time, be brave.